Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there is a donate button if you'd like to help us out. Are you in a groove or a rut? There's a vast difference. If you listen to our podcast on the praying mantis, we focused on this amazing creature, this insect with the triangular head. And remember, the triangle can point up or down. In one way, it's symbolic of fire and water, which is a harmonious balance. But also the triangle pointing up is analogous to the mountain, as we start with a solid foundation and climb to the one point at the top. However, when we turn the triangle upside down, it's in a sense digging a hole into the ground, from which we must dig out of. And we humans are infamous for digging our own holes and falling into them, as well as being caught in the holes that others dig for us. So too with being in a groove or a rut. Let's look at rut, r.u.t. Real useless things, useless habits that we can't seem to break. Rituals that put us in a state of darkness, depression, an unwholesome feeling, a sense of repetitiveness that we just can't seem to break. With a little reflection, rules, regulations, and rituals is really what life is all about. If you look at the rules and regulations and rituals of Mother Nature, for example. If you live in an area where there's 4 seasons, we can count on these every year. Winter, spring, summer, fall. So-called sunrise and sunset. The daily rituals of life. Watch the animals. They're very attuned to natural rhythms and beneficial rituals. So too with all the religions of the world, rules, regulations, and rituals, because this is life in general. Of course, this is where many people use an excuse to not follow any religious teachings when they see rules, regulations, and rituals that make no sense. Therefore, we always want to start with a sense of vitarka vichara in Hinduism, reason, discrimination, and judgment. The rules and regulations and rituals of life should make sense. They should elevate us. They should make our life worth living. This is being in a groove rather than in a rut. Now, we did a podcast, Acronyms for Life, but thinking back on it, every generation has their slang terms, their cliches that, upon a little bit of reflection, they seem a bit cringy now. But in the 60s, it was very typical to say, hey, that's groovy, man. In the groove. Today, one would probably say vibe. It's got a vibe. Same thing. This understanding of being in tune with something rather than being out of tune, out of step. A bad vibe. Interestingly, that groove came from the old vinyl records. And that's how they worked, with a groove, which a needle went through the grooves and played the music. And again, to show that nothing is kind of new under the sun and what goes around comes around. Some of the kids today having never seen record players with 45s and 78s, LPs. They're fascinated with them. They're selling record players again. And one of our students, the granddaughter, wanted to have a record player so she could play some vinyl records with all the modern technology of today. Many in the 60s are probably waiting for bell bottoms to come back again. What goes around comes around. From the skinny jean era and the yoga pants era, right? It may go back again to baggy pants. Being groovy meant that something was cool or someone was cool. Interesting, we always use that word for a sense of togetherness. Obviously a sense of peace rather than being hot and heated, angry. So cool seems to have lasted through many generations. So that was cool, that was groovy, man. In the groove, in the flow. In Hindu Yoga Dharma, we beseech Ma Saraswati, which literally means having flow. In other words, finding a habit pattern, finding a ritual that makes sense to one, and then practicing again and again, Muhura Bahuha, until one achieves a sense of mastery, expertise in the flow. Watch anyone who has achieved some measure of expertise in sports, in dance, in music, and you'll witness a beautiful flow, a beautiful groove. So we need to ask ourselves, are we in the groove or are we stuck in a rut? Are we stuck in negative emotions? Being greedy, angry, lusty, full of fears, ignorance, hard egoism. In Hindu Yoga Dharma, as Saiva Hindus, we wear the Tripundra, the three vertical stripes, the horizontal stripes, of Vibhuti. And Vibhuti is made from purified cow dung. In other words, we've faced the bull in our life and transformed the BS into the holy ash of Vibhuti. Putting on these three stripes, it's a reminder to us to burn up greed, anger, and lust. Lust, of course, is excessive desire for anything: food, money, power, sex. And how do we do this? We counter them with dana, dayadvam, damyata. Giving, compassion, control. In other words, we conquer greed by being a more giving person. We conquer anger by exercising compassion. We conquer lustful nature by being controlled. Dana, dayadvam, damyata. Three simple remedies to get out of the rut of greed, anger, lust. Afflictions that humanity suffers from around the world to one degree or another. Following one's chosen religious spiritual path is a wonderful way to develop a beautiful groove, but again, it has to make sense. And even within any specific religion, one should always be able to ask questions, purify, clarify certain teachings. But a religious spiritual path is something that seems to be concurrent with being a human as we seek answers to this life and perhaps the life after. Now, in the Hindu Yoga Dharma, one of our philosophies, one of the six, is the Yoga Darshana. And this is a complex manual for Saiva Hindu male renunciate yogis in training, which many of us can learn a lot from. But in this very detailed Hindu philosophy, the Saiva Hindu Guru Patanjali gives everybody a little break by giving three simple remedies that, in other words, will help one get out of a rut in life. Be maitri, karuna, mudita. Be friendly, be compassionate, and one will be happy. Friendly, compassionate, and happy. If we look at the opposite, which is a rut, if we're unfriendly, if we lack compassion, we'll be unhappy. We'll be stuck in a rut. So we follow this groove of maitri, karuna, mudita. We follow the groove of the modern code of the yamas and the niyamas. Remember, the traditional yamas and niyamas are extremely severe and meant only for the male Hindu renunciate yogis in training. But our modern code is the groove of seeking nonviolence. Doesn't mean we can't confront, but we don't get violent. We try to avoid anger, try to discipline our desires, avoid being drunk on anything: food, money, power, sex. Try not to steal. Try to avoid evil company. Try not to lie. Try not to be lusty. Try to be pure in body, mind, and speech, seeking a contentment in life. cultivating devotion, the secret sauce in life. Educate oneself. Love our fellow human beings. Be a giving person and be steadfast in hardship. This is a good groove. This is a good vibe, if you will. Living the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle of just trying to be ethical and serve others. This is what we Hindus call karma yoga. Again, devotion, the secret sauce of life. We call bhakti yoga. Seek contemplations, a contemplative life. Raja yoga. And study outwardly and inwardly. Gyan yoga. Take care of the physical body. Hatha yoga. The breath. Pranayama. Learn some positive aphorisms or chants, mantra yoga. Enjoy singing. Music is the commonality around the world. It's really a soulful quality. You know, it's amazing that sometimes you'll see someone who has a speech impediment, stuttering perhaps, but yet when they sing, it's completely gone. That's absolutely miraculous. And learn to dance with life, Natha yoga to the Hindus. Dancing, music, singing, art. These are all positive vibes. Positive grooves. And they help us stay out of the ruts of life, smoothing this highway of life. As we all travel together, trying to figure out who we are, what life is all about. Trying to find harmony, trying to find balance, trying to find the flow, finding the groove, finding the positive vibes. Takes work. But it should be a labor of love. Find those rules, regulations, and rituals that make you feel wholesome, that help you to flow along, dance along, play along with the music of life. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful life in the groove.